Hello and welcome. It is round 13 of Tier 2's Championship, a contest of speed. Racer, aka Lewis, is in the building once again, and Perry is back as well. Welcome, Perry.
Welcome, Lewis. It's good to be back and good to see a full, well, for the most part, a full grid 17 in the Tier 1.
Yeah, so it is Abu Dhabi do, and I mean, for a track that a lot of people don't have much pleasure in driving, some people do, some people don't. It's actually, so far, we've had two fantastic races this week, and hoping with this fantastic grid we've got 17. We haven't had a 17 field in Tier 1 for a while. Hopefully we should have another great race. We had a good race last week in China, and hopefully we'll have another one again today.
Well, if you were looking for waiting around to see when we normally have this, of course, before this week, it had always been the 3 tiers that started at 10 p.m. UK. Well, because of the really mainland European presence of Tier 1, we've moved it up to allow them to have a little bit more sleep in the back end and give them time to be able to race. So it is nice that we have moved it up, and for, I would say, a majority of the drivers plus a few that have joined, we've picked up a lot more speed, and I think it should be a lot more exciting races, a lot more competitive here in Tier 1.
Absolutely. It helps. I kind of like commentating at 8 p.m. means that when it finishes, it's not super late. And like you said, for these guys in Europe, they are an hour ahead of the UK, so 9 p.m. is probably a good time in the evening to prime time, as you will, for them. So a few guys, or majority of the guys, out on the soft tyres. 2 guys out, at the moment, selecting the hard tyre. What we've seen and what you experienced, Perry, was obviously the medium tyre. If you start outside the top 10, you do have quite an advantage pace-wise with the fresh medium tyre. Even a used medium that Donamo used tyres seem to really not have a strong outcome in the opening stint, whilst fresh tyres really made a massive difference. But these guys, obviously track position is still very much key, but I feel like, again, we're going to have people coming from outside the top 10 making positions in the very few first laps.
Yeah, I think that it's no surprise that a lot of these guys will be on softs, and it is pretty much a straightforward 2-stop race, and for the most part you want to be on the softs. I think the mediums, obviously, though, like you said, they come in pretty well later first stint. Do want to mention we have riding around watching Jordan complete his first lap. The Team Mercedes, him and X-Lion, have pretty much nailed. X-Lion's come out to give him the slipstream down the first DRS straight, so he's going to have, in my opinion, a pretty quick first go-around. Obviously, there's not a lot of rubber on the track, but everything's looked really clean from Jordan so far.
Yeah, he's coming around the last corner now. Let's see what he does. It is a 133.5. That is just under a tenth ahead of NSX Montana. Yes, last week's race winner in that fantastic battle that he had with Jay. So that is that. We've got a yellow in sector 3, most probably because of someone driving slowly. Fruitful is now on his way to finish a lap. Oh, and Jay's got a 5-place grid penalty for collision with Carlsbury. And Fruitful goes into P3, but drama there. I didn't see what happened, but Carlsbury and Jay coming together, and that's a 5-place grid penalty.
Yeah, that's an interesting place in the track. It was in Sector 3, because right when I jumped on to Jay, he was exiting the Sector 3, headed down the front stretch, so it had to happen the last couple turns. And I wonder if... yeah, that's just a bizarre kind of moment.
So, Zach's come through. Oh, it was an invalidated lap, unfortunately for him. I think that happened under the hotel. He was running a bit wide, and although you can get away with 2 wheels, if you go completely over it, it will invalidate you. So not happening for him. X-Lion, he is going under the hotel now as well. Looking very tidy in Sector 3. Such a contrast of a circuit, this. The last sector really requiring high downforce, but you can't do it because of the long straights. As Lion comes down into 133.7, so that puts him into P4.
Yeah, when we had the telemetry pulled up, a little bit surprised. Lion took that last turn, got down to second gear. That's a little bit. I think I was mostly into third.
Yeah.
And I mean, going down to second, it lets you corner really well, but I think it also compromises your exit. Not that it matters. I mean, the run up to the line's pretty short right there.
Yeah, the two is you've got to be really sensitive with the throttle because it can very easily snap in second gear, let alone third gear, if you're carrying a bit extra speed when the tyres are really grippy. So, yeah, fair enough. These are the big boys, so Tier 1, the fastest guys in our racing league. And obviously we've got a few new guys the last couple of weeks, but still a majority from the old guard. Fruitful Coot, obviously. Calzo was in last season, and he's come back in this season. Big Slater, Charlie, Carlsbury, Javi, Simply, Raikkonen has made a return this season already, and Nolan has now come back after a couple of races off. So we've still got a lot of the existing guys who've done almost all this season. The Renaults seem to be cutting the track.
Yeah, that was. I think Javi is just cut to try to give Simply a little bit of a boost, slipstream down the second DRS straight, but I mean, yeah, Javi just grossly cut the two corners before it and just run wide. Now he's just straight lined that again. I don't really. I mean, unless he's not familiar with the rule, but obviously we have the rule in place, you can't do that, so I'm sure Javi will be getting some sort of reprimand penalty for that, looking ahead.
So here comes Simply, 2 corners to go. And final corner again, briefly in gear 2 before going up to gear 3, and Simply goes 134.1, so that is P5.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good lap for about halfway through the session, and then you look at there's 4 guys in the 133s who set that on their first go around. That's really shows you how crazy the pace is with some of these drivers as Charlie is retired.
I'm guessing that is probably out after the hotel, because that's sector 3 yellow. I'm pretty sure that'll be the reason. We had quite a few retirees in yesterday's qualifying session. I think 3 people in the end crashed, and the same occurred in the Tier 3 race on Monday. It's a tricky track, particularly that bit around the hotel, because it's so narrow, and you clip that curb wrong, you try and carry a little bit more speed because it's so tempting to do that, and that wall is there and it just sucks you in, and that's it. It's game over.
Yeah, there are a lot of places where you can ride a little bit more curb, but the curbs around this place are a lot more unforgiving in certain areas of the track. You can try to cut it, run wide maybe a little bit. I did notice too, especially running the full race yesterday, you can get away with a lot more in this game, even on strict corner cutting, than you could in previous games.
Agreed.
So that should benefit, I think, the drivers if they want to be more aggressive on the curbing, but it also, you put yourself at a risk where if you hit it a little bit too hard, a little bit, cut too much of it, you could see yourself easily into the wall. There's not really much room for forgiveness in that hotel section.
So Jordan is he's coming up to people who are on their outlaps at the moment, our current provisional pole sitter, and he is able to get past the Toro Rosso. He's got Fruitful ahead of him. Sorry, not Fruitful, it's his teammate NSX.
That's Montana.
Yeah, Montana. Oh, he runs a bit wide. Oh, and loses the back end. That's going to be surely, yeah, he backs out of that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's just, when you're riding that close behind somebody, you have so much of a loss of downforce through that sector, and on soft tires especially, that loss of grip compared to what you're expecting or used to. It is killer through that section if you ride. And he wasn't terribly close, but I think he was definitely close enough. Dirty air affected him.
Yeah. And Pazzi, he is P8 at the moment, but he's 2/10 up on his previous best. So 2/10 won't, if it stays at 2/10, that won't improve his position because he's currently 3/10 behind Carlsbury. So he needs to make a bit more time in this final sector. So here we go. As Jay goes into provisional pole, Pazzi does improve. And
he did the exact same time as Jordan. The exact same time, 133.546.
Wow. But Jordan's still on the hot lap. Jordan's on his way, and Jordan's backed out. He's got.
No, he doesn't have enough ERS.
Yeah, he's. Of course, he had that moment. So, Lion though.
Have you ever seen that? Have you seen that ever? They did the exact same time.
I have seen it, yeah. But it's very, very rare. It's shades of. I guess. Do you know about the famous European Grand Prix qualifying at Jerez?
Yep.
The top three, same lap time.
Schumacher. Yep.
Yeah, Villeneuve, Schumacher, and Frentzen, and it's whoever sets the lap time. It should normally the person who sets the lap time first.
It says Jay has gone faster, and he said it second.
Yeah, and not in the actual rules. It's whoever sets it first. Well, don't have to worry about it now because Montana's just set provisional pole. He clears by 2/10 of the rest of the pack. Lyon's coming across the line, and he moves up into provisional pole. Wow!
130. Wow, that's a perfect lap for him. 133.1.
And he killed that final sector because he was only 2/10 up on his previous best, and in that final sector he ended up improving, so his overall lap time was half a second quicker. So it's
looking back
up.
at Calza right now. Calza's he's actually backed out of it. I think
He's already done
might
a
have
lap.
just done a lap. Nolan into the 132s.
Oh, that's some good pace there. 132.8, and everyone.
Just one. I think that these guys are setting time. Goes and shatters at 132.8. I mean, wow. He's here to yeah. I mean, that's crazy. He just straight lined one of the sections as well. So I think we need to remind Tier 1 about the rules about cutting the track in qualifying, because I think that's about the third or fourth one we've caught.
Yeah, obviously we do have a lot of new guys. Maybe haven't had that reminder given to them. So yeah,
Carlsbury as well. Yeah, I think everybody's doing it. It's gonna be to the point where do the stewards decide everybody gets to qualify next race? Because if so, we're gonna have half the grid just not qualify. Jordan's gonna be the first one out, I think, the second round.
So, who is out on a lap? The answer is no one. A lot of the guys are going back to the pits now. What I'm interested in, though, I'm guessing if a lot of these guys are doing 3 runs on the soft, if that's the case, these guys are going to have to do soft, medium, medium, because otherwise they'll be putting on a worn set of softs, wouldn't they, for their last stint?
Right.
That would be the case, wouldn't it? So let's see, who's outlap? So we got Jordan on an outlap, Joost on an outlap. I was struggling with his name last week, but I'm not going to make that mistake this week. We've got Raikkonen and Onyx. Those guys have yet to set a lap time, so those are obviously saving tyres. So maybe they are going for a soft, medium, soft strategy, because they definitely won't have used up all their soft allocations.
Yeah, that could very well be.
And Raikkonen cuts the corner.
Yeah.
I
swear. I think, pretty much everybody. I can look at the list, and I think I've got 6 or 7.
In which case, you can't really advise everyone, which means it's the same. It's the same grid.
Yeah.
VSR Onyx is on outlap. Who else? Oh, Nolan's crawling out of the pits. I think he's trying to find a good spot. So Joost is Yost is on a lap. Jordan is further behind him, so we'll stick with Yost for now. There's going to be a lot of guys out on track for the end. Oh, he's backed out. Yost must have made an error. So we'll pay our attentions now to Jordan. And he's using the slipstream of his teammate.
Yep.
And only using, he's not on maximum, well now he is, but he wasn't in maximum ERS at that point, at the end of that straight. He's just under 2 tenths.
Using every inch of the track as we got yellows in sector 3.
And now will be people driving really slowly, getting ready for their final attempts of a hot lap. Oh, and Zach needs to get out of the way, which he does. So Jordan, 2 corners to go. Is it going to be enough to move him further up the field? He's P5 at the moment, and it does. It moves him up into P2 for now. But he is one of the early runners. So
I think there's about, just for the stream reference, I think there's about an extra 30 seconds on the qualifying lap time than what it says. So it's counting down 40 seconds. I think there's a little bit over a minute left.
Right, okay. So, trying to find who is next to cross the line. Oh, Raikkonen is backed out of his lap, so he's going to go for another one, I guess.
Let's say Onyx is right now nearing sector 3, so...
Yeah, the pumpkin helmet. He is on his lap. He navigates through the tricky hotel section. The visibility with that pumpkin helmet has not affected him so far on this final lap, and it's a 1:33.7, but it's invalidated, so he will start on the back of the grid. So who next? Oh, we've got a Toro J in the pits. Fruitful's now coming towards the end of his flying lap. Here we go. Fruitful, can he improve on that P7, our championship leader? Across the line, he goes, 1:33.4. It does, it's an improvement, and Jay is disqualified for dangerous parking in the pits, so he will start back off the grid. Who else have we got now? Lion is coming towards the final turn now. He's a tenth and a half up.
I think it might be invalidated. I'm not sure. No, well, he didn't improve.
Moves up into P4. So who else?
No, he did invalidate. He did invalidate.
Oh, the full racing point off Calzo, loses it. Oh, I just got that, and that means he has to back out.
Oh, what a save though for keeping it off the wall. I'll give him that. I mean, it doesn't mean much in the end.
So who else have we got next coming along? Oh, and a Renault.
Carlsberry's still pushing.
Yeah, Pazzi didn't improve on his best. He's just checkered flag icon on him. So Carlsberry and Simply's retired. So he's not going to improve either. And Nolan improves yet again, 1:32.7.
Extends his lead.
So here we go, Carlsberry. P10 at the moment. Does he improve more? It's
slightly, but not enough.
Right, and here comes Montana. Montana down the finish line. He moves up to P3. That's a good improvement for him. And I think Javi's the last one, I believe, to come across the line. Will he improve? He does 1:33.7. And I think that is everyone else, because Raikkonen and Onyx weren't able to do a lap time. Neither did Zach. So that is it. That is the quali order. And that is
as much as
positions.
Yeah, it's Nolan. Obviously, you know, he was crazy quick on the softs, but now the real question to me is, you know, is he going to be able to keep them going? Fortunately for him, everybody else, I mean, the top 8's all on softs, so they won't have much of an advantage. The other thing is, you know, in that mid-pack, you know, when you look through P5 to P8, that's really a dangerous spot. There's going to be a lot of people jockeying to try to make some moves to get up to the front. I have the feeling that we won't see. We'll see a lot of people being aggressive because it's awfully hard to make a lot of passes in this race. So I think that we'll see people be very aggressive into Sector 1, kind of like Tier 2. And also the people in the back, are they going to go different strategy? Are they going to try to start on mediums and then save a fresh set of softs at the end?
Yeah, absolutely. I think looking at it, a lot of the guys did run, the guys at the front anyway, and majority did run 3 sets of softs in that session. So, but I think the guys at the very back, they have got those fresh softs if they choose to use them, and can look after their tyres with the setups and the driving styles that they use. So in the comments section, Raikkonen says, I go in wide zone to let people go and it invalidated next lap 2 times. What a joke, this game. It's a shame for Raikkonen. But that is your starting order. So Nolan, Jordan, Montana, Yost, Lyon, Fruitful Coot, Javi, Calzo, Simply Rush, and then you've got Carlsbury, Passy, Big Slater, Charlie, Zach, and then the bottom end you've got Raikkonen. Jay will be at the back of the grid now, being disqualified. I think that was... I probably missed one person towards the back of the grid there. Oh, Zach as well. VRT Zach. He failed to set a lap time either, and so did Onyx. So, predictions, guys. What do you think? Obviously, like Perry said, although Noland was a class act in quali, a bit of a gap between himself and the rest, will he have that same advantage come the race? And we've already had Jordan Yost tick. So.
Yep. I don't know. I think people in the back, if they can avoid the carnage I expect to happen, then Raikkonen could still be. He runs a pretty good race up for a podium. Yeah, I think also Jay took the disqualification just because he was going to have a 5-place grid penalty anyway. So he'd rather start in the back and have his choice of tires.
So here we go. It's lap 0 because this is the formation lap, and Nolan gets them off.
We do have everybody on mediums except for Charlie on the softs in P13 and Jay in 17 with the hard tires, so pretty straightforward from 11th on back, that medium strategy to start for them. And we'll see if Big Slater, they're in the ideal spot to move up some positions once the softs, and really the softs will only last maybe 2 laps before they really hit a cliff. So
yeah, I mean, the undercut is really powerful around here, and personally I pitted lap 7, the end of lap 7, but I think you could have gone, to be honest, a lap earlier and it would have been absolutely fine, because it was a massive amount of the undercut was just huge. So expect people to be pitting from earliest lap 5. That would be the earliest, bearing there's no wing damage. And but yeah, most people will be pitting on the softs, I think, around that lap 7, laps between lap 6 and lap 8. Well, the medium runners will get to around lap 10, lap 11, before they make their stops. And personally, I know you went for the softs in the middle stint, but I feel like the softs, the best time to have the softs is when the car is at its lightest, because the tyre won't overheat.
That was definitely a lesson. That was definitely a lesson learned. I was trying to do 2 stints of softs, but that medium stint on softs was atrocious. So
it's very similar to Canada, isn't it? Where you got the 2-stop strategy of soft, medium, medium. Although you can try the soft, but it's just a very if you don't stretch the medium stint long enough, it's quite risky. And it's only those first 5 laps that you get a real advantage from the soft, and then after that, it's a very level playing field. But they're lining up. We had a few disqualifications, so those guys are going to be starting on cold tyres. And look out for that first sector. So here we go. We have got 5 lights.
And we'll go.
We'll wait. And we're going. It's away for Tier 1. Good start for the Mercedes, but he's going to tuck in behind Nolan. There's a little bit of ghosting that goes on. The Ferrari of Montana and Yost. Side by side, Montana has to go wide and let him through. Fruitful, this bit is the dangerous section here. But everyone gets through cleanly. Oh no, they don't. Jay on the hards has gone into the wall. He loses the rear end. That's disaster for him, and I'll be surprised if he wants to continue in this race. A few jostling. Oh, 3 wide in the hairpin with the Ferrari. So Fruitful, Calzo and Carlsbury. And the Williams going wide. Great battles with those guys. It could be 3 or 4 wide.
Raikkonen and Slater come together and they just reset on track.
Oh no.
Weird.
Yeah, they have. So disaster.
I think Raikkonen was trying to rejoin. There wasn't any space. Oh, there's still a big battle from P7 on. Calzo, Javi, they're going to duke it out down the straight, and they're also going to be stuck behind Fruitful.
Oh.
He might try 3 wide. Oh, Javi runs the Calzo off.
Yeah, it's crazy battling. These guys are all over it. It's like an IndyCar race on an Abu Dhabi racetrack. It's mental.
Oh, yeah. I feel like once you get shoved to the outside, that's about it. Well, Zach and Pazzi side by side.
Oh, there's contact.
Pazzi, that's a rough one for Pazzi. He kind of got run wide and got a 5-second penalty.
Did he get any wing damage though? You can't really tell yet. No, he didn't. He got away with it. And Jay does retire. That is no surprise. Being on those hard tyres, you have to be careful. Heavy fuel load, hard tyres that are cold. That sector 1 is tricky. So here we go. They're all going through that first sector now. When the car is heavy, it can be a bit tricky. And I think they all make it through this time. Oh, Jay, Pazzi. I think that was corner cutting there from Pazzi. He sort of made the move on the inside, but thankfully Calzo stayed ahead, so there's no controversy in regards to that. And I think, yes, he does. Onyx has wing damage, so he is going to struggle for the remainder. As Raikkonen has DNF'd as well.
I think Raikkonen just retired in the pits.
And there's the yellows in sectors 1 and 2. But meanwhile, at the front, we have got it's all line astern, which is great, because once DRS starts at the beginning of this next lap, we might see a few battles, or it'll be a DRS train. But Nolan is not pulling away from Jordan at the moment. It's 4 tenths, 5 tenths between the leader and Jordan. Yost just behind in P3. Montana 4th, Lyon 5th. And there's a bit of a gap to Fruitful as Carlsbury gets a penalty already.
I'll say Onyx is doing pretty okay, I would say, with the wing damage in P10. He's going to hold up Calzo and a few others, but not quite sure how well he could pass, as he just ran out pretty wide. Meanwhile, the front, you talk about the top 4, they all went really clean, very nice and orderly, and we haven't seen, anything as crazy as we saw in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, well, the Ferrari of Montana is lining up. I mean, look on Yost. Yost will have DRS though, which will make things a bit tricky for now. But Yost is outside the DRS, so for the next... Oh, he's just in it now.
And we'll see. Oh, he took a lot of curve there on the inside, but he got...
Oh, he didn't get DRS.
That gives Montana a way better exit.
Yeah, and Yost doesn't have the DRS either.
Montana going to go around the outside, and that's really the preferred line around this corner. And he will get the position done. So P3 for Montana. Nice move for him. And now he can focus on catching the leaders.
Oh, and meanwhile, at the back, there's a big scrap still. for the top 10 position, or the racing point almost goes off the track in Calzo. Yeah, Calzo's lost a load of places.
Calzo's soft tires are dead, I'm assuming. So
yeah.
that's probably part of it.
Yeah,
Jordan is staying within DRS though.
Absolutely.
Oh, and Lion is pitted. That's a very early stop for him. He's on the mediums. So maybe he's trying to really tough undercut, but he's definitely going to have to go mediums and mediums, and even then he'll have to really push the mediums out to 12 laps.
Yeah, it's a shame about
and he'll
Lion.
have traffic.
Yeah. So... Jordan with DRS, but using no ERS to make a move. He's just allowing that DRS, and now he attacks. But is he close enough? I don't think he is. And he gets close, but it's not close enough as the yellow in Sector 2. Don't know who that was.
I think Onyx has maybe just let quite a few by as Pazzi gets by Zach.
Yeah, so that puts Pazzi up in P9.
I think Onyx either had a moment or just decided to let quite a few people by with wing damage. The only downside for Lion is once he gets past Charlie here in a moment, he's going to probably come up to the back of some of these guys battling 10th on back. As the top 4 are all in, top 5 are all in. Oh, Fruitful stays out.
Well, it is that case of the undercut is really big round here. And I did think after my race, I thought if I pitted earlier, I could have took quite an advantage. Oh, and the Mercedes and Williams.
Charlie has wrecked in Sector 3.
I must have done, yeah. So the guys all together in the pits lined astern. And Nolan lost out to Jordan. Jordan actually got ahead. That's the big thing. And Lion, I think they had to respond to Lion because Lion pitted lap 4.
There's a safety car.
Wow.
Oh, they pitted a lap too early. These guys are going to get a free stop up front. Will they still come out ahead of, on back with Jordan? I think they will. Fruitful's going to get a free stop. And it'll be, I think the guys on the mediums, you might as well come in now too. It's going to be tough just to see what they decide. But yeah, there must have been a safety car as Jordan gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. That's probably part of the glitch, so that's pretty much ruined his race.
Oh, what a shocker. A drama though for this race. Yeah, Jordan, drive-through penalty, speeding under safety car, and he just had managed to get ahead of Nolan in the pit stops. When I saw that, it didn't click at the time that Jordan was the guy getting ahead, so slightly quicker pit stop, and Jordan still Lions had a collision with Montana.
Yeah, he's riding right behind Montana.
And he's been given a 5-second penalty for that.
He's still pushing Montana around the track. That's bizarre.
And he's got another 5-second penalty.
I don't know, maybe he thinks he got passed.
Oh, he's got wing damage.
Oh, he's wrecked
and
into the back of him.
He's been disqualified.
He's been disqualified because of the glitch. Fruitful just got a speeding in the pit lane.
And he's now, this is not on. Lion is trying to take Montana out. And is now sulking.
He's just sulking. Yeah, he's just backed it into the pits.
And Yost has got a pit lane penalty as well. A load of guys are Lion, so Lion is retired. Yost is now pitting on the mediums, and they had to double stack the alphas. And Fruitful, he didn't get ahead of Montana in the end.
Big Slater didn't pit, so he goes up to P1. Yeah, Fruitful lost, 2 spots because one didn't pit Montana, so Montana keeps P2.
I think Fruitful, a couple guys pitted onto the hards, Can you make the hards last from lap 6?
You probably can, but
it's not going to be necessary. It's just going to be slow.
Not going to be worth it.
It depends on what time.
I think you'll be able to get a free pit stop.
It depends what time the. Yeah, I suppose it depends on what time the safety car comes in. It's probably going to be another lap. But yeah, Big Slater leads, and I think that was a mistake. Because he could have had a free pit stop, and instead...
How is Nolan's P11? What happened with that?
So
did he just...
Oh, he went for another...
have to double stack?
He did another pit stop.
Okay.
So I think he might have got damaged during that previous lap.
Well, he was going to do another stint of softs, and then he just switched on the medium just to be with everybody else. So now everybody's on the same strategy. I feel really bad for Jordan because he just had the glitch where when the safety car comes out, sometimes the thing doesn't work, so you just keep building on the 5-second penalties as you drive along. There's nothing you can do about it. So he basically got disqualified just because of the glitch in the game. No fault to his own. That's just incredibly unlucky, and I honestly think that maybe it's time, if the safety car doesn't work, we're just going to disqualify random people to take it off.
Yeah, it's a real shame. But Big Slater then in the lead. Lap 7, Montana in P2, Fruitful 3rd, Javi 4th, Carlsbury 5th, Zach in 6th, Calzo 7th, Simply 8th, Pazzi 9th, Onyx in 10th, Nolan 11th now, and Yost in 12th. Both those guys had to stop again, put the mediums on. So it's been quite a dramatic.
It'll be interesting to see how Big Slater does. I don't think he has the pace as Montana or Fruitful, but his mediums shouldn't be dead. They should still have some life to them. Montana and Fruitful, obviously fresh mediums, they're going to be quick right off the bat. So, for what that's worth. I think now Nolan, though, he's got to crawl back from hit P11. I think strategy really just screwed with him.
Right. So the safety car lights are off, which means
it's go time.
We got a race restarting. And obviously there is no DRS for the first 2 laps after a safety car period.
I'm trying to see how. Looks like Slater's still kind of, going pretty quick, so he's going to make it a pretty quick restart. He's not going to hold him back, it looks like. And he's probably getting to the point where, in these situations, if you're the leader, you can really slow up. And I think he's letting kind of the game decide how far back he's got to be because the safety car's got to be in. So maybe slowing up a little bit now. And the fight's going to be back on, especially in these midfield. We've got Nolan sitting behind 2 guys on hards as well. We'll see how quickly he can make his way through them. Somebody just lost a bit of wing. It was a pink wing. Calzo.
So here we go. We restart.
Nolan's got a 5-second penalty.
And he's pitting.
Nolan's pitting. He must have lost front wing or something.
Yeah, and already Montana has taken the lead of Nolan. Simply gets a 5 seconds for ignoring yellow flags, and Calzo, his penalties all over the place, can't keep up with it. But Montana is going to try and pull away now. Those fresh medium tyres on the other guys compared to Big Slater's 7 laps of mediums. And
Nolan's just retired in the pits, yeah. I think he lost his front wing. He got hit from behind and might have lost his front wing to the car ahead of him and just decided to end his race there in pits.
So it goes down
so now we're down to 11.
Yeah. It's been a dramatic race so far, and you're only 8 laps in. There's the yellows in sector 1 and 2. I don't know what's happened. It seems like everyone's got through, but both Ferraris are 1 and 2 now. Yost gets another 3-second penalty. The Haas is having a look on Fruitful, but not quite close enough. So Fruitful taking advantage of that safety car. And now Big Slater's under pressure from Javi, who again having a good run. Last week he did well, and this week he's in the top 5 in 4th at the moment. And with a chance for P3 as Zach's going down the inside of the McLaren of Carlsbury, and I think he's done it. You don't see that move often in that corner, but when you have a safety... Oh, yellow. And...
and Pazzi was stuck in the wall for a second. He was still there, he's stuck in the wall, and now he's backed it out.
This is crazy.
Man, oh man.
So the 2 Ferraris, and so Javi's still behind Big Slater. There won't be DRS on this lap either, so he's going to have to use his ERS. Another retiree.
Just stuffed it in the pits, yeah.
So now everyone will get points today. Points mean prizes.
Well, it is if they if they can make it the rest of the race.
Yeah. So here we go. Slater struggling with the traction out of that hairpin bend, and the Renault is lining him up. He's got to overtake ERS on. He's going to be on the outside. Will the Haas try and break late? No, he won't. He himself runs a bit deep though, and Javi's going to go around the outside of him.
Slater got it. Slater got a great runner on the outside. Zach's going to go around the outside now. Oh, this is going to be dangerous. And Juice has wrecked it. Yost, yeah, I'm not with those Dutch names.
Oh, Yost is, we're falling out like flies here. Oh, they're so close. And Javi loses it. Zach's been brilliant on this restart. Is he going to make another move on? No, he's too far back for another move into this corner. But Slater runs a bit deep. It's so massively different, these tyres. Just a few laps and those Ferraris are gone. Slater really struggling with these tyres right now. And Zach's going to have to respond, but there is DRS this time by. So here we go, the choo-choo train that is led by Big Slater, Zach, Javi, Carlsbury, Simply.
I think Zach could have probably tried to make a move into turn 1 there, but I don't know if he was expecting to get the respect from Big Slater that I got from Dresta yesterday, so he might do it now to the inside. Nope, he's just going to wait until he gets the DRS.
Or maybe even the hairpin bend here. Yeah, he's going for it. Does a Verstappen. What he did with Ocon. A little bit of contact. But it's alright.
Pretty clean.
Yeah, that's
pretty clean. And he gets DRS, so he's going to really pull away, and he's going to try to create a gap to get Javi out of DRS. As Javi now goes right by Big Slater.
He runs deep again.
Slater does get a great exit out of this corner, though.
Both these have DRS.
Simply, he has nowhere to go. Big Slater trying to run the outside. He's not going to get there.
Brilliant.
Oh, Fruitful is keeping up with Montana pretty well.
Simply, that was cutting the corner to take that place. So, got that on the feed. But Simply does get past Slater, but that was...
Honestly, the stewards aren't going to carry this deep in the race. They're going to have too much stuff to do before.
Yeah, it is one of those. It's and the McLaren of Carlsbury's going down the inside of Onyx. What are you doing to that? Oh, they both make contact again. Oh. Wing damage. I don't know for who. It was for the McLaren, it looks like. So Carlsbury's not going to be too pleased about that.
Carlsbury's going to be mad. Does he use the front wing? I don't know. He's gone way off the track to keep up. Pretty blatant corner cut for Carlsbury, who I think at this point just wants to get by or some revenge at this point, because I think he tried to make a pass on Onyx and then Onyx just hit him down the straight, just turned into him. So,
well, obviously Onyx is the only guy in this group that's on hard tyres, and he's able to keep up with them for now because of Big Slater's moments. But here comes Carlsbury down the inside.
makes the move, but now Onyx will have a great run with the RS. Although he just hopped the curb and got a terrible exit.
I think he'll be alright. Oh, and the Renault's having a little look as well. With Zach starting to pull away, but the Ferraris have just left this pack. Their Fruitful is 5.5 seconds clear of Zach right now. So, yeah, easy does it. And
Have a Schumacher Barrichello Ferrari moment here.
Yeah, absolutely. Will we have an Austria 2002? No, I doubt it. I remember that race. I was so...
Although with the way this race has gone, could be, we don't know.
Well, that race is what made me fall out of love with Ferrari, and well, at the time I was only
and
9.
Slater speeding zone pits.
Oh, yeah, and 5-second penalty as well for speeding in the pit lane. A lot of people getting caught out with that. Yeah, sorry Ricky if you heard that, but that was when I fell out of love with Ferrari. Was that race? And when he did it again.
Oh, Onyx on the inside of Carlsberry.
Oh.
So
well,
Carlsberry, I think can't run that well in Sector 1 with the wing damage. So Onyx makes the move.
But Carlsberry will have DRS again. But now these guys, the medium runners, are able to pull away from Onyx on those hards. And Simply is all over the back of Javi. I think he is quicker. Will the teammates work together here? I mean, Simply's going to have DRS, so I think they will. I don't think Javi's just going to let him easily get past. No problems from those guys. Simply up into P4.
Carlsberry peeked on the inside.
Ooh.
Oh, he makes the move done. Oh, but he runs a little wide. Onyx is all over the back of him. Oh, Onyx with a great move down the inside. Carlsberry ran wide, and Onyx takes the spot back. Onyx runs wide. Oh, man, this is going to be a fight. I really hope that they don't bend it or something, which has been the tale of this race.
Yeah, people can't seem to race together. But I think Carlsberry's starting to lose grip with those front tyres now. That wing damage just eating them out. Yeah, he's really struggling. He's going to pit. Yeah. Will he retire from the race? That is the question. I mean, I suppose there's no need to retire because he's P7 and he still can battle it out with Big Slater and Calzo. So he's got to take his penalty. We wait. What pressures? What tyres is he going to go on? He's going to go onto the hards, which makes sense. But it's a very long stop for him. But at least he won't have to stop again, so he can still get P7.
This is going to open the door for Calzo as well. I don't know where...
Calzo's close to him.
It's going to be close.
Calzo's just got ahead of him. It's very neck and neck, but I think Calzo will just get ahead. Yeah, Calzo's just ahead, yeah. So the gap between the Ferrari guys is 1.6. It's been pretty... 1.5, 1.6 has been pretty much like that for the last 5 laps. And Zach is falling away. Zach isn't catching these two guys, so it's more a case of the Renault's trying to catch up with Zach. They're 1.8 behind at the moment. But unfortunately, this race now for the second half is going to be, because we lost so many people, I'm feeling it's going to be a bit of a spaced out race.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at all the good names of people, you know, obviously Jordan disqualified, Jay incident lap 1, decided to retire. You know, when you look at it now, a lot of guys probably could have either tried to keep going, but obviously didn't, and, you know, they would have lost points because of it. Like Nolan, I'm sure, I think that even with wing damage, doing an extra stop, he could have probably been able to fight and still, you know, if he was still in the race, I mean, he'd get at least 1 point, so.
Yeah, at the time though, you don't expect that many. I mean, I would until perhaps the end of the race, but yeah, a lot of guys, yeah, having those issues, unfortunately, and choosing either to retire or actually retired because of mechanical, or for damage crashing into the walls, etc. Free fall
Good,
has
just
got to
line
1.3.
Line and just decides to try to wreck somebody on purpose.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be interesting to see what tyres some of these guys pick for their last set of tyres. I think it'd probably be medium because they had to pit earlier. They all pitted around lap 5. So I don't think a lot of these guys are going to run the soft tyres. And Zach is starting to pull away. Simply is starting to struggle. Javi's being able to stay right with him. So this is your main battle. Unfortunately, they're teammates, so they're not going to be too aggressive with each other. This big Slater.
Pillsbury has caught up on the back of Calzo.
Yeah. So here we go. Last sector up. These guys obviously having issues earlier in the race, and battling both these guys are going to aim to get to the end of the race on these hard tyres. So too is Onyx. The rest of the field will be stopping again. So the battle for the lead is battle for the win is very much going to be between the two Ferraris. But the way the rest of this field goes, it's still interesting. Calsbury is going to make the move surely on Calza. Calza's going to defend it though. This is for P8, and Calsbury with that DRS. He's got to make sure he gets a good exit though, because Calzo will have DRS for the next section. It's close. I think Calzo, he's only 3/10 back. He's going to be able to attack. It's coming down 2/10, 1/10. Here comes Calzo. Will he brake late? He does. He goes round the outside. He will have the inside line, but
perfect. Oh wow, Carlsberg did really well to keep that car as well planted as he did.
Yeah. Nicely done by the McLaren, and holds on to P8, or overtakes Calzo and holds on to that P8 position.
One thing that I think might be a little bit interesting is all these medium runners will have to stop again and be on softs. Onyx, is only 5.7 back from Simply, so I could see Onyx taking P4 possibly.
It just depends on how quick he is, though.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be a sitting duck on those hards. Come those guys putting on those. Because if they're going to be putting on mediums, it's going to be around lap 18, 19. If people are going to go on to softs, when do you reckon lap 20, 21 for softs? If you're going to go softs, you're going to probably pit lap 21, yeah. 21? And lap 18, I would have thought was a good time to pit if you're going to run on the mediums for your final stint. Calzo wasn't quite close enough, but he will have another chance, another bite of the cherry. Zach gets 3-second penalty here, so that'll be interesting to see. That might be his first penalty. Calzo has a little... he brakes late and he has to just avoid Calsbury. Doesn't cut the corners, fair play. Doesn't want to risk getting any more penalties. But unfortunately for us, that means Calsbury gets a 2-second gap now. And a safe P8 for now. As Simply has pitted. So Simply has decided to pit on lap 17. And he's going to go on the medium tyre. So expect people to retaliate to that move. So Simply...
there are a lot of penalties at the restart. I'm just going back and looking at the penalty list. I think, looking at it from the restart, back on lap 7, it looked like Javi either got a terrible start or maybe even braked at a spot that he maybe shouldn't have, and it just caused a chain reaction in which everybody behind him ran into the back of the person ahead of him and got a penalty for it.
Yeah.
Like, there's just 5-second penalties from basically Javi on the restart on back.
So this could be a complete mixed match, basically.
Oh yeah, with all the penalties I've just seen, I mean, there's some guys like Fruitful has a pit road speeding penalty for 5 seconds, so yeah, I mean, this could really be, Big Slater, heck, for all I know, could end up being in a podium spot at this point with all the penalties.
And Fruitful pits. So Fruitful is going to undercut Montana. I don't think it's going to be quite enough. I'm guessing Montana will pit next lap. I don't think he was quite close enough.
And he's got the penalty. He's got the 5-second penalty he's serving, so he won't be.
Ah, of course, yeah. So
where's he going to come out?
In a quiet 5th place.
7.5 seconds, and he's on the medium tires, so
yeah.
I mean, he will probably catch Onyx, but it won't be as quickly.
Well, he should be able to easily catch Onyx. Onyx on 12-lap-old hards.
Right.
Fruitful on those fresh mediums. I reckon he'll be catching him by a 1.5 seconds a lap, if that, if any more really. So, but yeah, Onyx is on course for a good result. That safety car really did have that battling with Big Slater, holding people up for a good 3-4 laps. It was crucial for him to make this strategy work. So, I think he is on course for a good result. Montana, let's see, I'm expecting him to be pitting this time by. Although he could go further because obviously Fruitful had that penalty, and he does. So he's maybe gonna go for the soft tyre because he knows he has that safety cushion. He's gonna probably go to lap 21 maybe and go onto the soft tyre. As the Renault of Javi, I thought he was going in the pits then. 31. So it looks like a lot of these guys are going to go onto the soft tyre. Because ideally, if you were going to go onto the medium, you'd have wanted to pit now. So yeah, these guys are going to carry on and put on the soft tyre, which could put Fruitful in a precarious position with that penalty he had in the pits. He's going to be probably just getting ahead of Zach when Zach makes his pit stop. And Simply now is right up behind Big Slater. So Big Slater again, because he didn't pit in the safety car, he's all out of sync and out of kilter with the rest of the field. He should have pitted for hards really. I don't know why he went on the mediums. A hard tyre would have kept him going for the rest of the race, and he might have had a chance of finishing P7. Instead, he gets passed by Simply, and he will be most probably pitting. Well, he'll be definitely pitting again. So Big Slate is probably on course for a P9, but he could put the soft on towards the end, so at least he will have a bit of pace.
Yeah, it'll be. I don't blame. He was rolling the dice, and with as many guys, I mean, we still had 14 guys left, I think, at the safety car.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're looking at possibly, he was going to have a P7 or P8 out of that many people would have been good for him. And now, since we, lost half the field, his idea of, saving track position really doesn't matter now that everybody's just gone. You're right, Fruitful has caught Onyx pretty quickly, only 2 seconds back now.
Yeah, the hards are bad enough when they're brand new. So when you got 14-lap-old hards compared to fresh mediums, it's quite an impact. But to be fair, Onyx is actually closing in now on Javi because these guys on the mediums, their tyres are really struggling. Onyx is actually closing in back again on Javi, so Onyx is on course. This is the only problem with these guys going late onto the soft tyre They're giving themselves
I
an
don't.
awful
Yeah,
lot
they
of
might
work.
not have time to catch him. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. In this instance, I do think the medium would have been probably the better strategy, because a lot of these guys pitted so early to go onto the medium. They all pitted around that lap 5, lap 6, so they're
I
really
think
stretching the medium.
Yeah, and even with Fruitful's 5-second penalty he served, I mean, he's going to be a little bit ahead of Montana, but I mean, he could, you know, if Montana has a slower pit stop or, you know, something happens, I could see Fruitful potentially. He'd need to really turn quick laps on the mediums here, but if Montana has to go through Onyx to get to Fruitful, Fruitful might luck into a win. We'll see.
Well, Fruitful's now 19.7 seconds behind, and Zach pits, and I think Javi's pitting as well. So those two guys have had enough. Their tyres, they really were struggling.
Well, Fruitful lost it back in there.
Yeah, but he says fastest lap. Fruitful's all over.
The fastest lap.
But Fruitful is most probably, it's 19 seconds. I know it's a short pit lane around here, so he's on the cusp with Montana. And
sorry, Zach about spun it in the tunnel heading up the pits. He's not going to have that much of a gap between him and Javi. But he will have Big Slater between them, so he does luck into that.
Well, Simply's managed to get ahead of Zach with that undercut. However, Zach will have the far superior grip, as Fruitful now is going to get past. Oh, the Alpha sort of moves to the inside a bit. Defends it a bit hefty. Always a bit of contact. He wants to be careful not to get any wing damage.
Wide.
I don't think that's the race for Onyx to be battling, to be honest. He wants to keep going.
He's going to have DRS. He has a chance to go around the outside.
But he's going to have far less grip.
He had to brake a lot earlier. Oh, but Fruitful ran deep as well. But there's nowhere to go if you're Onyx to benefit from that. So, move done for Fruitful. He did lose a little bit of time though battling.
And Montana pits this time. So the gap, I mean, that was crucial that Onyx was holding Fruitful back, because Fruitful hasn't taken much time out at all. I mean, even if Fruitful does get ahead, those soft tyres are going to be such an advantage.
Something happened to Zach because he is, well, wait.
No, he's behind Simply.
Mind.
Yeah. So I think Montana's going to stay ahead.
I thought Javi was ahead of him.
Oh no, wait a minute, Fruitful, it's going to be really close. No, Fruitful will get ahead, just though. But it'll be a case of Montana
will be a lot quicker, yeah.
Yeah. So Onyx is P3. And he's at the moment, he's 8.8 clear of Simply. So he's actually, it's crazy to think he's in the battle, although he's not in the battle for the win. But he has a great chance of P3. Let's get the...
is Simply he just ghosted. Oh, he did disconnect. Oh, he just ghosted inside Zach for some reason. That was weird. I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
Zach, he just ghosted and Zach was able to drive right through him. I don't know if maybe Simply ran wide on the exit and that's why he ghosted.
Possibly. Oh, Onyx retired! Oh, he's crashed!
Onyx has lost it.
He's lost it! Oh, what a shame! I don't know where he's lost it though.
He lost it, I think, going... I think it was in the end of the second DRS straight. I don't know, maybe if...
I'm waiting to see.
That's bizarre. All by himself too. I don't think... It wasn't close enough, he didn't have DRS, so...
It's on that corner. So, I can't see the car. But yeah, it's around that turn. I
almost wonder if he looked away for some reason and then just completely missed his braking point and went straight on. That's the only thing I can imagine. As if it was some sort of just him personal error.
What a shame. But that means Zach is back into P3. Javi is now ahead, and Simply's pitted. Simply has decided to go for fastest lap. He has got, well, Carlsby's going to get past him, so I'm a bit surprised.
Everybody's going to get by him, yeah. Big Slater as well.
but he will have fresh
Well,
softs.
maybe not.
I think
Maybe
he,
not Big Slater.
he only lost one place well, he lost 2 places because Javi's got past him as well, but at least he'll be able to set fastest lap and get back into P5, barring there's no issues with getting past Carlsbury, because Carlsbury is on 10 lap old hards now, so he's going to be a bit of a sitting duck, which will make it a bit more interesting for us guys. So here we go. Simply, we'll be lining him up for the second DRS zone. And Carlsbury's not even defending it. And simply rushes through for P5. And Montana sets a fastest lap of 135.794. So that is what Simply needs to beat.
Interesting thing about Montana is that with everything that's happened in this race, he does not have a penalty. He's got 2 warnings for track limits, but he does not have any penalty seconds. I think Fruitful served all of his on the 5-second pit stop, so he really doesn't have any either. I'm pretty sure the rest of these guys have quite a few. So
yeah, Montana's
Calzo's into the pits. So Calzo's just decided to, yeah.
That's slapping it.
Just to, right. Which I think he throws away. He would throw away a point, but I think Big Slater would have probably passed him anyways on the soft.
Yeah. Yeah, Big Slater will be on course to get past Carlsbury. He's just under 3 seconds behind the McLaren, but I'm sure he'll be getting past him shortly. So Simply he's trying to go for the fastest lap now.
I don't think he has the ERS. Still got another straight to go, and he'll have basically none left.
Matty, that was a terrible punchline there, Lewis. That's what I'm here for. Come on, give me some credit. Rushed through, take 5th position. His name's Simply Rush. It's as cheesy as you can get.
I didn't even notice it.
Yeah, see, I saw, and that was it. It was just to like slip it in there, you know. So yeah, it's. But yeah, thanks for that. Thanks for that, Matty. So Big Slater is 1.5 seconds back, so he probably will be in DRS for the next lap. We have got 4 laps left to go now.
I will say, if there are any stewards in chat, you're going to need quite a few cups of coffee to sort through everything that's happened, transpired today.
Indeed. Double shot coffee.
Oh, there's Montana's penalty. His first one.
Oh, what a shame.
I'm not sure does Fruitful have. I don't think he'll be within 3 seconds, but.
I mean, it's going to be pretty jumbled up. Well, we might know, the way it is, there's obviously a big gap between 4th and 5th, so there might not be such a big change after the race is finished, like we first feared. But Big Slater is gaining and gaining. He's going to have better traction, surely, which he does. And now the DRS.
Oh, he should have it here. Oh, jumps to the outside.
Carlsbury's going to run deep, surely. Oh, this could be adventurous. Oh no, fair play. He didn't want to risk it. And Carlsbury,
that was a tremendous job defending, though.
Yeah, fair play to him. He kept it. He shut the door on the inside and made it difficult. And Big Slater.
I think some of it too has to go with ERS. As Carlsbury's got 64%, so. He has quite a lot left to burn.
Yeah. So 3 to go. And I think this time, Slater should, now that he is well and truly behind Carlsbury, he should be able to get the job done this time by. So here we go. Slipstream. He's going to go around the outside. And he's done it this time. He gives McLaren some room so they don't make contact. But the McLaren is there still. Fair play. And Carlsbury's going to get a good run.
I think Carlsbury's got this with the ERS he has left. Oh, it's going to be neck and neck, but Carlsbury's got the preferred line.
Oh, he's getting around the outside. Brilliant.
Oh, what a move. What a defensive job. Big Slater, he had to give him that. Good, respectful driving from Big Slater as well, but I think Slater knows that he's got a couple more opportunities, and now he's got to wait. He's got to stay behind Carlsbury after the first DRS straight, get DRS on the second one, and then complete the pass.
And that's another lap of soft swearing. Another lap where he's lost his advantage a little bit more to that hard tyre run out of Carlsbury. As they start their penultimate lap, the leaders are already halfway through the penultimate lap. Lap 27 of 28. So through the first sector, always tricky to follow right up behind because of that turbulence that is created.
So here we go. Let's see if Slater's learned his lesson.
Again, I think he's losing his grip because Carlsbury's even further ahead now. But he's got a really
they have about
good
the
slip.
same ERS. Gonna have a good entry here. Now it's all about the exit. He got a great exit. He was patient. He's gonna wait to the second as Zach gets another 3-second penalty. Slater's got him around the outside.
Yeah. Oh, he's trying to have a look.
Carlsbury, yeah, there's nothing Carlsbury can do as Fruitful picks up a 3-second time penalty.
Oh, he's trying to go down the inside.
Oh man, what a peak, but...
And now Big Slater's got no ERS. Carlsbury's down the inside of him. Oh, why did Slater leave the door open there? Carlsbury's got it again. Nah,
I think Carlsbury's got a lot more downforce.
Yeah. Well, we'll get back to those guys when they get towards the battle, which should be around the same point that Montana crosses the start line. Should be a good battle for P6, but our race leader has had a faultless race. He stayed out the wars early on, where others fell, and he won last week. Last week was much more stressful. His great battle with Jay, which is one of the best battles we've had in Tier 1 this year, if not the best. But today it was all about surviving and then keeping your cool, not making any mistakes, not getting penalties. Although he did get a penalty towards the end of this race, it's still much less than anyone else has got. So here comes NSX. He's 6.5 seconds clear. The final corner, and Carlsbury and Big Slater are still battling it. But I'm going to stick with Montana because he wins the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Round 13 is his. Back-to-back race victories. Fruitful is in P2. If we go back to
Here
the
comes
battle,
Big Slater.
yeah.
Down the inside this time.
Oh, he does it. It's going to go through. Zach gets P3, but Javi gets P3 after penalties. So Javi moves up into P3, and I think he's got it now as Zach has crashed at the line. But Javi, on penalties, gets P3. Fantastic result for the Renault driver. Here comes Simply. Simply is coming home to P5. And Big Slater, I think, is going to get it on the line. He's going to get that final lap. Big Slater's doing a little bit of a donut. Oh, Simply, though, gets 5 seconds. Oh, 5 seconds. Carlsbury's still battling side by side. And Big Slater, Gets P6 in the end.
Big Slater would have had it with Carlsberg's penalties as well.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Calzo is crossing the line. Will he gain any places? No, he doesn't. So that is the final finisher. Calzo in P8.
It felt like that was a demolition derby.
Yeah, indeed it was. It was a bit of Ferrari 1-2. So you definitely know it wasn't rigged when Ferrari finished 1-2. Yeah. Game definitely didn't work in favour.
You couldn't write a script for that race.
You never see Ferrari finishing 1-2. Well, nowadays you don't. You used to back in the early noughties, but yeah, definitely not rigged at all. Apparently Zach had damage all race, so fair enough. So the classifications: Montana P1, Fruitful in P2, Javi third, Zach fourth with 12 seconds of penalties, 8 seconds of penalties for Simply, he's P5, Big Slater 6th, Carlsbury 7th, Calzo 8th, and then the DNFs: Onyx, Yost, Pazzi, Nolan, Lion, Charlie, Raikkonen, Jay, and Jordan gets disqualified, unfortunately, because of that. What could have been for him, but because of the glitch. We're only we think that's the case. Most probably is the case. He got disqualified in the end, so that's very much unfortunate for him. Yep, let us know your driver of the days. We've already got one from Matty. He says Montana is his driver of the day.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think so too. So, do you want to send me the invites, or do you want me to go do the invites?
I think it's my party, so I probably have to.
Yeah, it just saves me. I can then go onto the showroom and display the race-winning car for the second time in a week.
Javi was P3, right?
Yes, yeah, Javi, yeah.
Hello, guys.
Hey, Fruitful.
I think this is.
Yeah, I was not sure if you had Montana as a friend.
He
has like 2 accounts as well. I didn't know which one to send it to.
Yeah,
it's the NSX Montana, not the other one.
NSX.
Not the GT one.
Yeah, not the GT one. Yeah.
There it is.
Oh, Perry, did you want to do the interviews? Or do you want me to do them?
You can do them. You can do them.
Okay.
Say if you make sure your party settings are set to allow your audio to be shared, that would be nice. And just waiting on Javi. I sent him an invite. So.
Yeah, Avi is not coming. He said it in the tier 1 chat, so.
Okay.
Okay.
Just waiting for me.
Alright, take it away. Take it away, Lewis.
Okay, so have we got Montana in? Okay. Alright, brilliant. Okay, so we'll start off then with P2, which is Fruitful. So I'll go back on here. Yes, so Fruitful, congratulations P2. Both you guys obviously surviving that first half of the race was a bit. Talk us through that beginning part, Fruitful. How did you survive it, and yeah, and from there on in, how was your race?
Yeah, my first lap was a bit messy. I got pushed around everywhere, so that was a bit annoying. Got a hit from behind, so I lost touch to the group in front of me. And after that, I got quite a lonely first stint. And when the safety car came out, I was thinking, that I had no benefit about it, but I was totally wrong. And something happened. I have no clue what happened, but I was in second or in third place, and I got a pretty comfortable race after that. I was just total clueless.
Well, it was at a point where obviously it worked out perfectly for you with the safety car because a lot of the guys pitted. Obviously, you hadn't, and but obviously you still had to edge. I think you did the right strategy of going medium. You could have edged it on, but it was worth doing something different to your teammate. And a few people were doing the strategy of making the mediums last longer, which I don't think worked for them because they pitted so early, pitting on lap 5, to try and make the medium last. So no, it was a good result, kept it clean, both you guys. But congratulations, and another. Well, obviously leading the championship, so it's plain sailing for you.
Exactly. Yeah,
no worries. Montana, back-to-back wins. This one wasn't quite as stressful as the finale of last week's race, but you still had to obviously battle it hard, and was helped. Obviously, there's a lot of chaos going on with that safety car. But talk us through your beginning of the race, and obviously the second half was much easier for you.
Quite happy with the qualifying. Just wanted to stay with the guys. Nolan was kind of breaking away. I knew I had decent race pace, not race-winning race pace, to be honest. The safety car was a bit strange. I thought it's gonna screw me over, but something happened with Nolan and other guys. And I was second. Hang on, no, I was third. And Lion was right in front of me. So
well, didn't Lion hit you?
Started.
Yeah, because Lion was hitting you.
Yeah, let me explain. Lion was kicked 2 days ago from NS6, which is my team, and therefore he doesn't like me anymore. Fair enough. Then I came out behind him after my pit stop, and there was the virtual safety car, or like the delta we had to keep track on. Then he completely stopped in one corner, the chicane. I ran in the back of him, and then I wanted to get past him because I was way too positive on my delta, but he didn't want that, so it was a bit awkward then. And in the last sector when I was ahead, he pushed me a few times. In the last corner he tried to take me out. End of the story.
Yeah, he ended up getting wing damage as well for it. So, but yeah, it didn't work out for him in the end. It ruined his race, and in the end you got the final laugh because you got the race victory. So yeah, we only saw that bit where he was trying to hit you, and he ended up getting loads of penalties for it. So well, you survived that. That was quite a stressful moment in the race again. You had stressful battling with Jay at the end of the Chinese race, and this was all when you weren't supposed to be racing. But congratulations on being able to avoid getting any damage, and in the end, getting a comfortable victory, being able to edge out the medium tyre. And I guess, I don't know if you and Fruitful were talking, but did you know that Fruitful had the 5-second penalty in the pits?
I was in a party with him.
Right, okay. Yeah, that's fine. So that's cool. Yeah, so you knew what was going on. So that's fine. Yeah, but congratulations, you two. Class act ahead of everyone, and good luck for next race in Mexico.
Thanks, man.
No worries. Okay, that concludes today's broadcast. Thank you very much for watching. We're back tomorrow for 9 PM Eastern Time for the Americas tier here, and then we return next week for Mexico. Tier 3 Mondays, Tier 2 Tuesdays, both those at 10 PM UK time, and Tier 1 once again Wednesdays, 8 PM UK time, and the Americas tier as always Thursday. Thank you very much. We'll be back then. Until then, have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you soon.